Hey guys, and welcome to another video in the Frsky Series. And today's topic is custom audio callouts. So the default library is pretty extensive, but of course you may need to add something different or something new. Like for example, I wanted wing sweep and I wanted the term full span ailerons. And I wanted to add it into my system, but ideally for me was I was trying to look for a voice that matched because I didn't want it to you know, go to a different voice just for that one thing and then go back to another voice. So I think I found it. Here, check this out.
Welcome to Ethos. Please like and subscribe to the All RC YouTube channel. Throttle not idle, failsafe not set, switch warning.
All right, there you go. So the first half of that message up to the like and subscribe part, that was a custom voice. And the second half of the message with the throttle not idle, etc., that was the stock default voice. And I think I got it sounding pretty damn close. So here's another example. So these two switches over here, this switch over here is the stock voice, and this switch over here is the custom voice. And I just made them say the same thing just so that we could tell the difference.
Low rate, low rate, medium rate, medium rate, high rate, high rate.
It's pretty damn close. A little bit different, but yeah, for what we do, it sounds very, very close. So what's nice is you can mix and match, put them in, whatever. So I'll go through that voice where I found that, and after that, we'll go through some of the new things in version 1.5 firmware that is really, really nice now. One of the things that's really cool is you can add multiple voices. So what you can do, for example, is you can have a voice, the default voice, the female voice, and then maybe you can add a male voice. So maybe critical warnings and stuff like that is in the default voice, and things like, flapper-ons or, other things could be in a male voice if you want, so it stands out differently. So you can go through that and do that, but I use that second voice to put my custom sounds in. And the reason why I did that was so that it was just organized better, since just a shorter list, because I know that, oh, this one is a custom voice. I can scroll through the different terms without going through an entire long list. So we'll go through that portion as well. Okay, so again, this is going to be a long video, so bear with me, and I will put chapters up so you can figure out the part that you need. All right, so the first thing that I want to go through is how I got that custom voice. So I just sort of like looked, and I was kind of like looking around trying to figure out what it was. And I went through, and instead of like trying to download software, I just went to my phone, and I just went through what I had on my phone, and oh my God, it had it. So, all right, I'm gonna go over to my phone next, and I'll put up a screen of the phone, and I'll show you where that file is. All right, so stand by 1 second. Okay, I am on my phone, and what I did was I downloaded this app called Tell Me. Here it is. And I just, first of all, tried it at first and to see, what voice it had in it and stuff, and it wasn't really close. So I started looking around. So over here, I go to Settings and Voice. And over here, I go to Voice Settings. Now this puts me into the setup in my phone. So essentially it's using a text-to-speech program that is built into my phone. And my phone is a Samsung, but what I did was I changed it over to Google. And on Google, once you change it over to Google, so if I come over here, actually just back out. If I go over here and click on not the gear wheel, but the preferred engine, if I click on that, then it gave me the option of going from Google or Samsung. So I went to Google, and then I clicked the gear wheel, and I come over here and install voice data. And I just went through a bunch of the English ones. So I went to English United States and went over here to voice. Was that 8? Yeah, that's 8. So voice 8. And voice 8 was it.
Of speech synthesis in English.
There it is. So once you have that, then you can go back to the program, just hitting back, go back over here, go back, I'm out of settings. And once you go do that, now over here, you just type in whatever you want. So I'm going to type in, welcome to Ethos. Read.
Welcome to Ethos.
There it is. So once you've typed in whatever you want to say, if you look down here, you can change the speed and the pitch. I think the speed to make it exactly the same was just a bit faster. Then it's dead on right, exactly the same as the built-in voice. So once you do that, then I just downloaded it over here, and I can come up with a name. I'll call it test because I know it's not what I'm going to use. I can't spell. And save. Now, I created a folder called sound files, so that's where like anything that I want to do, I'll put into here, and then I save it. And then from that, I just download it to my computer into a folder, and we're going to go through the next steps for that now. Okay, so I'm back. So the next thing you need to do is you need to download that onto your computer. I'm not going to go through that process right now. I think you guys can do that. Just take it from your phone, hook up a USB, and transfer those files to a folder in your computer. And so what I did was I created a folder here called for Transcode. And this is where I put my files. So these are all my, what do you call it? Custom sounds that I have. So like air brakes, elevator to flap, dynamic rates, and dynamic expo for that thing that I did where I can adjust my rates and my expo in the air, and whatever I want. So you go ahead and put it into a folder. The next thing that you want to do is you want to go ahead and open up Ethos Suite. Okay, in Ethos Suite, they've got something called Audio Manager. And all this does is it takes the files that you created and it transcodes it so that it's the same file, but it is the proper format for Ethos operating system. And honestly, I don't know what that format is, but if you use this, it's fine. So all you got to do is you're going to go ahead and click the plus symbol over here, and you want to navigate. Whoops, there it goes. That was kind of weird. Excuse me. So now you want to navigate to the folder. So I have a folder here called for Transcode. And then I just go ahead and take whatever files. So you can do it one by one, or you can make a list, like say, let's do a new one. So let's go over here and here. Let's just do those ones right now, okay? And we're gonna go over here to open. Now it goes ahead and puts it in there, and it transcodes it to a path that you want. So for example, if you look...
Prolonged inactivity.
Oh, sorry about that. So if you look over here, it's got, I have a documents, custom sounds is the folder that I have. I'm going to create a new one. And in documents, let's go ahead and create a new folder. And let's call it test audio. Because I already did this, so I just need to, I'll just create a folder here so that this is what we're going to do. Okay. So in that folder, there, select folder. All right, so there it goes. So if you look over here, I'm going to go to my arrow, look at my arrow. This is the stuff that's going to be transcoded, and it's going to put it into test audio over there. Okay, and transcode. Transcode is finished. Obviously, it'll take longer if you got more files in it, but that's it. So I have a new thing called test audio, and I'm going to create a new voice in the system called test audio. Now, a couple of things. If you don't want to go through that, you can just dump, and I'll show you where, but you can just dump your new voices into the same folder as the other voices are, so you don't have to go through voices. I like having it as a separate voice because it'll just make organization a little bit easier. If I know that it's something that is a custom one that I made, I'll just go to that one. But anyways, you can do it one way or the other. So we're going to go ahead and now we're going to go ahead and put that into the radio. So I'm going to go ahead now. You don't have to go into bootloader mode. It's kind of nice. They added, I don't know when, but I just discovered it, that they added this thing. Oops, wrong one. Gotta find, where is it? There it is. Okay. Now, if you look at the radio, it says Ethos Suite. Oh, I think I might have hit the button by accident. Let me go ahead and take it out and put it back in again. Okay, there it goes. Ethos Suite, there it is. Now, once you do that, we're going to go back to the computer. And on the computer now are our drives. So in your radio drive now, it might be called something else. These are the new ones that came up, just so that you can see it, because it's just auto pops up. And go to this PC over here. And you've got your flash drive and you got your radio drive. That's what this labeled on the XE, and honestly, I don't remember if I changed those labels, but I think that's the default labels. But I think on the X20 it's something completely different. But you're just looking for the one that has all these files in it. So the ones that has the models, the scripts, audio, where you load your Lewis scripts, and and everything else. So all this. So go to model. I'm just going to show you how this works. So I'm going to go over here to audio. I'm going to open that up. All right. So the only file that I have loaded up is I think these are my old ones. So you won't see these because these are my old files that I had before. But if you look over here, it says EN, that means English. So whatever language that you want, you loaded that automatically when you updated your firmware. So you loaded up the English sounds. Inside English now is default. And then you got GB for Great Britain and US. So these are the two other voices that are in here. Okay, let's go to default so you can see how the file structure works. So I'm going to go to default. All the ones that are in here, inside default, are the sounds that these are the user sounds. And now there's another folder in there called system. And the system sounds are like, 21, RSSI low, all the stuff that the radio does that you don't control, that's all in here. So the system one you don't really want to mess with. But so, like feet per minute, all the different things. And by the way, in the system file, there is one here called hello. You see how it's called hello? That's your message in the beginning where it says, welcome to Ethos. I changed it to be liked and subscribed for this video. Of course, I'll change it back. But if you change something like that, create another one, or just take the original one and make it like backup, right? So that's the original one over there, and this is the one that I messed with. And I just essentially put that file, and I relabeled it hello, and now that's how I got the voice to come up when I turn on the radio. But it's a system file. So any of the system files you don't want to mess with. All right, so we're going to go ahead and load in that the new one, and there's a couple ways you can do it. So the ones that I created, I believe that's for transcode. So I'm going to go back to documents and look for the custom sounds. There it is. Okay, so here are all the custom sounds that I have. Oh no, I created a new one called test. That's right. I'm sorry, I forgot. So let's find that. Test audio. All right, so here's the ones that we went ahead and transcoded. They're there. Now, if you wanted to and you don't want to mess with a secondary voice, you can just take all these files, and if they're not labeled the same as the ones that are in here, you can just dump them in here. So again, not the system folder that's like a sub folder, but the main one. So under English, and then the name of this voice is called default. And inside default, so audio English default, you can just dump these files right into here. And as long as they're not labeled like what something else in, you're not going to have a problem. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is do what I did with the other one, is I'm going to create a new folder under English over here. I'm going to create a new one, excuse me. Okay, I'm going to create a new one called test. So I'm going to create a new folder. Okay, new folder. And this is the new voices that I have. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and dump my new ones over here that I just transcoded. Hold down Shift, go to the last one, take this and drag it across, copy to test. There it goes. All right, so now this is my radio. Unfortunately, if you're going to do voices, this isn't going to work because the voice will be for that entire thing. So for example, if you're going to do one that says battery, for example, you want battery 21% or battery 7.2 volts. If you choose a new voice for that, for this sound, it needs the other part of it, which is like the 7.2, 7.1 volts. So the way I do it, because these voices sound exactly the same as the original system voice, is in this folder, I'm going to create a new folder. Actually, no, I'm not even creating a new folder. I'm just going to go ahead and go to default, and I'm going to copy the system folder. So Control C for copy. And then I'm going to go up, go into that test. And over here, I'm going to go ahead and Control V. So you copy all the system voices into there. If you have a new voice that you created that has all the 1s, 2s, 3s, it's got to be labeled exactly the same as the system, because that's how the system knows what those sounds are. But if it is labeled exactly the same, you can use your own. But what I'm doing essentially is I'm creating a new voice called test. I have my system voices in it. They're the same as the ones in default, but I have my own stuff over there. Okay, so that's it. Once we do this, we can get out of this. So I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and unplug. Oh, I think I have to turn these off first. Close that. Okay, and let's go ahead and safely remove. Eject D, eject E. So I'm ejecting my radio from the computer. There it goes. Okay, and now I can unplug my radio.
Throttle not idle. Failsafe not set. Switch warning.
All right, so now we're in the radio, and let's go ahead and activate that voice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to System, which is right here, or you can hit the gear icon over there, but I like using the buttons. For me, it's better. And once you go into System, you navigate over to General. Go over here, go down until you see Audio. Okay, so language is English. So essentially, this is the directory structure. So the first thing you want is language, and then you go to English, and then the next voice is default. The new ones that I put in are under custom. So let's go ahead and add a third voice, which is test. So this will only show you what's under the English subdirectory. There it is, test. All right, let's go ahead and use it. Let's make sure that it works. So I'm going to go over here. So the way now, if you guys aren't aware of how to use the sounds, essentially is you need a trigger for the sound to activate, and then you got to say what the file is. So the most basic one is like high rate, medium rate, low rate, which is like
Medium
these.
rate.
And essentially, every time I hit the switch and I go to the up position, it'll say low rate, right? So let's go ahead and do that one. So you will do that as an example, then we'll do a couple of ones that are a little bit more complicated in just a bit. All right, so the way to do that is you go into Model. You go over to the next page. You can swipe, or you can hit this button over here to go to the next page. I'll swipe this time. And you want to go to Special Functions over here. All right, so these are the ones that I created, but we're going to go ahead and create another one. So special functions is where you do this kind of stuff. I'm going to go ahead and add a new special function. And what do I want to do? I want to do you can hit a screenshot. You can set failsafe, which is kind of nice. Play audio and haptic write logs. So in our case, we're going to play an audio. Now, state, you want to enable it. Active condition. So when does this happen? So right now, see that the SF9 over there is green. That means that this is happening right now. It is on because it's always on. But I'm going to go ahead and make it so that only when I hit the switch in the up position, so this particular switch, it's going to go ahead and play a sound. Over here at voice is where you choose what voice. So voice 1 default is a standard system voice. And then you've got custom and you've got test. So test is the new one. So I'm going to go to test over here and repeat once and skip on startup. This is kind of nice so that when you turn on your radio, it's not going to say that if this switch is in the up position. So I'm going to skip on startup. And then I'm going to go ahead. This sequence is where you do your stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and add. I'm going to play a file. And the file that I want to play, and this is only what's in my test folder. And so let's do battery. Okay. And so I'm going to go ahead and go down and click it.
Battery.
There it goes.
Battery.
Okay, since this particular one is battery, let's go ahead and, I don't know, here, check this out. Let's do this. I'm going to add a new line to this. And instead of play a file, I want to do play value. And source, you can use any value you want. So in this case, like if it's battery, if you have it in telemetry, you can use telemetry. Since I don't have any telemetry set up and I don't even have a receiver on right now, I'm going to do this. So it's going to be slider right and unit on and haptic. All right, so now it's going to go ahead and I'm going to do this, and every time I hit that switch in the up position, it's going to say battery, and then it's going to tell me the position of the slider.
Battery 43%.
Now you can add a couple of things in this. So for example, over here, if I wanted to, like let's just say that I needed a little bit more space between there. Let's go ahead and add a line. And instead of play file, we can go down here to wait duration. And wait duration, what this does is between those files, it puts a pause. So let's do a long one. So let's do 1.5 seconds. So it's a long pause. Okay, so let's take a look at the list. We got, it's going to say battery. It's going to do the slider right. And then it's going to wait 1.5 seconds. So I want to put that 1.5 between the two. So I go to move. Up, there it is. All right, let's go ahead and hit that.
Battery 43%.
So you can use that wait condition as like, you know, to pause it out a little bit if, you know, if you need to, or, you know, whichever. But I'm going to go ahead and do another one. So I think somebody asked me this in, excuse me, let me put this back up. I think somebody asked me this in one of the comments, but they were a pattern flyer and they wanted to be able to call out what they're doing as they, you know, like as they're flying. So like, you know, whatever, like, you know, I'm going to do a loop here, I'm going to do whatever. So they just wanted to do the loop, press a button, and then tell them what the next maneuver is. So let's go ahead and do that. So in this, let's create a new one. So let's go to here. That one's not real, so I'm going to go ahead and edit that. Okay, what action do I want? I want to go do the same thing, play audio. and state is enable, active condition. I'm going to hit a switch this time. So I'm going to do this switch, for example. And voice 1 default. Yeah, let's do voice. Let's do the default voice because it's got more stuff in there than what I created. And let's create a new sequence. So add something to sequence, play file. Let's play the 3D file. Okay.
3D.
There it is. Let's add a new line in the sequence. And I'm going to put a wait condition. And the wait condition is going to be the same switch.
3D.
Okay. I'm going to add a new line, add, and play file. And it's going to be the next one, which is there. So pretend that these are different maneuvers. So there, let's go ahead and do a wait condition, add a wait condition, this, and the condition is this button. And let's add one more. And let's do the next one. I think it's auto rotate. There it goes. Okay. So this is kind of cool. So now,
3D.
Next time you hit the button,
Auto.
Next time you hit the button, auto rotate.
Auto rotation. 3D. Auto. Auto rotation.
Okay. And that's where, let's see, where is it? Repeat. Oh, I'm sorry. Where's the reset? There it is, reset. That's where reset comes in. So I can add another button over here for a reset. So remember the first one's 3D, then it's auto, then auto rotate. So I can come over here, I can hit this button.
3D. Auto.
Now, if I hit reset, it'll go back to the top and do 3D again.
3D. Auto. Auto rotation.
Okay, kind of nice. It's kind of a nice thing to be able to do, but that is one of the new improvements in version 1.5 software is special functions. Instead of making a separate special function for a bunch of those different files, you just have a list. So this is a really nice way of doing it in my opinion. So anyways, I think that's it. If you guys have any questions or comments, go ahead and let me know. You can email me at all.rc.air@gmail.com, or if it's something shorter, you feel free to just leave a comment in the video. But this is a kind of nice thing to be able to do, is to be able to play audio on your switch. You can have like it play values, like you noticed that it was a slider position over there, or you can do telemetry. So if the telemetry says the battery is this much, you can do that. But this is sort of like a basic primer on audio, but I hope that this made sense to you. So anyways, that's it. Thank you very much, guys, and have a good night. Bye.